I sat in my car outside the hospital, staring at the DNA test results in my trembling hands. Just 3 weeks ago, my wife Lauren announced she was pregnant, her face glowing with excitement. She expected me to celebrate. She expected me to embrace her, to promise we would be a family. But that baby was not mine. She thought I would stay, forgive her, raise another man's child as my own. She was dead wrong. Everything started on a night when she came home late with a request that shattered my world. Before I share this story, let me know where you are watching from in the comments below. If this kind of real-life story resonates with you, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. This journey taught me that sometimes letting go is the only way to truly love yourself. Now, let me take you back to where it all began. Lauren and I met 7 years ago at a small coffee shop in downtown Austin. I was working on my laptop deep into some coding project when she accidentally knocked over her iced latte right onto my keyboard. She apologized profusely, her cheeks turning bright red, offering to pay for the damage. I just laughed and told her it was the perfect excuse to buy her a new drink. We talked for 3 hours that afternoon. She had just graduated college, full of dreams and ambition, and there was something so genuine about the way she laughed. We dated for 2 years, and every moment felt like a gift. Lauren used to say she was the luckiest woman alive to have found me. She would leave little notes in my lunch bag, call me during her breaks just to hear my voice, and plan surprise dates on random weekdays. When I decided to propose, I took her back to that same coffee shop where we first met. I got down on one knee right next to the table where she spilled her latte, and she cried happy tears before even saying yes. Our wedding was small but beautiful. Just close family and friends gathered in my mother's backyard under string lights. Lauren looked stunning in a simple white dress, and when she walked toward me, I remember thinking I was the most fortunate man on earth. We honeymooned in a cabin in Colorado, spending our days hiking and our nights talking about our future. We wanted 2 kids, maybe 3. A house with a big yard. A life built on love and trust. The first 4 years of our marriage were everything I had hoped for. We bought a small house in the suburbs, using the inheritance my grandfather left me. Lauren was climbing the ladder at her marketing agency, and I supported her every step of the way. I would cook dinner every night so she could focus on her career. We had a tradition of watching movies together every Friday, cuddled on the couch with homemade popcorn. Life was simple, but it was ours. Everything began to shift about 18 months ago when Lauren got promoted to marketing manager. At first, I was proud of her. She had worked so hard for that position. But slowly, almost imperceptibly, she started to change. She came home later and later, always citing client meetings or project deadlines. Her phone was constantly face down on the table, and one day I noticed she had changed her password without telling me. She started criticizing things she used to love. Our cozy house was suddenly too small. My reliable sedan was embarrassingly old. Our annual camping trips were boring compared to the exotic vacations her colleagues took. I tried to brush it off as stress from her new responsibilities. I told myself she just needed time to adjust. Then she started mentioning Derek. He was the creative director at her agency, a man in his late 30s who had been divorced twice. Lauren spoke about him with a sparkle in her eyes that used to be reserved for me. Derek has a penthouse downtown. Derek just bought a new Porsche. Derek thinks I have what it takes to be a director someday. Every conversation seemed to circle back to him. I met Derek once at a company holiday party. He shook my hand firmly, smiled politely, but the way his eyes lingered on my wife made my stomach turn. There was something predatory in his gaze, something that told me he saw Lauren as a conquest rather than a colleague. I wanted to say something, but I did not want to seem like a jealous husband. I trusted Lauren. At least I thought I did. My best friend Marcus, a divorce lawyer I had known since college, called me one evening with concern in his voice. He had seen Lauren and Derek having dinner at an upscale restaurant downtown, just the 2 of them, sitting close, laughing intimately. I defended her immediately. It must have been a work meeting. Marcus was quiet for a moment, then said he hoped I was right but urged me to pay attention. A few weeks later, on a Friday night, Lauren came home around 11. I had waited up for her, our traditional movie night abandoned. She sat across from me at the kitchen table, avoiding my eyes, and said we needed to talk. My heart sank before she even began. She told me she felt suffocated in our marriage. She said she needed room to grow, to explore, to discover who she really was. Then she proposed something that made my blood run cold. She wanted an open marriage. She said it was a modern solution, a way for both of us to experience life while still staying together. She framed it as progressive, as healthy, as something that could save us. I asked her if she was joking. She was not. I told her flatly that was not the marriage I signed up for. An open marriage meant no marriage at all in my eyes. She started crying, accusing me of being controlling, of stifling her freedom, of not truly loving her. That night, for the first time in 5 years, we slept in separate rooms. The weeks that followed were a slow torture. Lauren did not drop her request. Every few days, she would bring it up again, armed with articles about polyamory and open relationships. She sent me links to podcasts featuring couples who had opened their marriages and found happiness. She said we were falling behind the times, that I was too traditional, too rigid. When I continued to refuse, her tactics changed. She became cold and distant. The affection we once shared vanished completely. When I tried to hold her hand, she pulled away. When I attempted intimacy, she claimed she was not in the mood. She told me that if I truly loved her, I would consider her happiness. She implied that my refusal might force her to make difficult decisions. I started losing sleep. My work suffered. I would stare at my computer screen for hours without typing a single line of code. I questioned myself constantly. Had I done something wrong? Was I not enough? A part of me, the desperate part that could not imagine life without her, actually considered agreeing just to end the tension. But every time I thought about it, something inside me broke a little more. One morning, everything became horrifyingly clear. Lauren was in the shower and her phone buzzed on the nightstand. A message appeared on the screen from Derek. "Last night was incredible. I miss you already." My hands shook as I picked up her phone. The passcode she thought I did not know was her birthday. I scrolled through months of messages, explicit photos, plans for secret meetings. They had been together for at least 3 months, even before she asked for an open marriage. When she came out of the bathroom wrapped in a towel, I held up her phone. I asked her what it meant. She did not apologize. She did not look ashamed. Instead, she got angry. She accused me of invading her privacy, of violating her trust. When I pointed out the irony, she said this was exactly why she wanted to open our marriage. At least then, she claimed everything would be fair. I asked her how it could be fair when she had been lying to me for months. She said I had forced her hand by being so closed-minded. She said if I had just agreed from the start, she would not have had to sneak around. According to her twisted logic, her affair was my fault. I should have ended it right there. I should have told her to pack her bags and leave. But I did not. Some foolish part of me believed she might wake up and realize what she was throwing away. I gave her time. I gave her space. I gave her the benefit of doubt she never deserved. The next 3 months were the darkest of my life. Lauren stopped hiding her affair. She would come home at 2 or 3 in the morning, sometimes not at all. When she did return, she smelled of expensive cologne that was not mine. She would shower immediately, but I could see the marks on her neck, the satisfied look in her eyes. She began comparing me to Derek openly. She said Derek took her to 5-star restaurants, while I only knew how to make spaghetti. She said Derek understood her ambitions, while I just wanted to hold her back. She said Derek made her feel alive, in ways I never could. Each word was a dagger, and she twisted every single one. I became a ghost in my own home. I lost 15 pounds without trying. My hair started graying at 32. One night I sat alone in the dark living room, a glass of whiskey in my hand, staring at my reflection in the window. I did not recognize the man looking back. He was hollow, broken, defeated. That night I called my mother. Eleanor answered on the second ring, as she always did. When she heard my voice crack, she did not ask questions. She just listened as I poured out everything I had been holding inside. When I finished, she was quiet for a long moment. Then she said something I will never forget. She told me that she stayed with my father for years after she knew the marriage was over because she was afraid of being alone. It was the biggest mistake of her life. She begged me not to make the same choice. I deserved to be loved properly, she said, and so did she, all those years ago.